We're rolling into week 2. We're looking at the Cleveland Browns. We're on Shedeur Sanders' watch. We're going to recap week 1, some things we've heard from the media. But before we dig in, you need to click that subscribe button right now. We're looking at what your players doing every day behind the scenes at practice, what we're hearing in the media, the interviews. On top of that, I'm also helping you with your fantasy football teams. Rankings, lineup settings, guys off the waiver wire for you to pick up. It's all here. It's free. Click that button. Stop missing out. But there's a lot going on now with the Cleveland Browns. They're 0-1 going into week 2. They're playing the Ravens. The Ravens' 30th anniversary game, celebrating against the Cleveland Browns. But there's one question a lot of you guys have with Shedeur Sanders, and you do not know if you're going to see the answer to it this year.
Is the kid progressing? Is he improving? Is he being developed by the Cleveland Browns?
Whereas history would tell us probably not. If I'm just being fair. But Riz, here's the other thing that you forget. Next year at this time, we're gonna have a first-round draft pick on our roster at the quarterback position.
I told you, if it were me, if I was Deion, or if I had some sort of influence on, I'd tell him, you know what, trade me this. Let me go somewhere where I can have a chance to play. Chris, don't you think there are enough desperate teams out there? Because you know the Browns got it all figured out. Yeah, the Dillon Gabrile's going to be their backup, and then they're going to find their franchise quarterback no matter what next year, right? Because we all believe that.
I got the answer, though. I know what's up with this. He's not getting developed in the season. Nobody's getting really developed from the bottom up. Like the top tier guys, they're getting ready for in-game. Your starters, maybe some of your second string, you're getting ready. You're scripting for the game. You're doing your walkthroughs, your medicals. There's a lot going on. There's no player or hardly any player development going on right now. That is over with. And now the time is to get through every single Sunday trying to get that W. So right now, he's not being developed. There's no development. There's no development right now. We're dressing for the games. We're going to the games. We're going through the practices. They're going through the walkthroughs. And his practice reports, which are going to be very limited, they're only going to share so much with the beat writers, and they're going to only share so much information and clips. Mainly going to be started practice and a little bit here and there. Mainly it's going to be Flacco out there working things out. That's your answer. That's your answer. Now, if you're projecting out for the rest of the season, they're 0-1 right now, and they got a rough schedule.
You're 13-point underdogs against the Ravens, who are angry after blowing another fourth-quarter lead last night. So this is even more reason why you needed to win that game. Chris, would you have taken 1-1 after Bengals-Ravens?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, that's the difference between you winning 6 games or you winning 10 games. Like, that first win, that first game, to win that game sets the tone for everything.
Flacco wasn't bad. Flacco wasn't that bad. And we said he could exceed expectations. And you look at the stat line, if you haven't watched the game, we watched all the box scores and reviewed what we saw from Red Zone that night on Sunday. We said, hey, that's the Flacco stat line right there. Flacco, solid. He wasn't horrible.
This show thinks that Joe Flacco did a good job. And I didn't mean to bog it down with nitty-gritty football, even though I like the nitty-gritty.
Am I wrong? I thought they got above average quarterback play.
I thought they did too. You said you got a text from somebody who was like, if Deshaun Watson had that game, he'd be getting skewered. And I went, well, Joe Flacco's getting paid $4 million for 1 year. And right now we are kind of in I got to tell you, I think we are kind of in a honeymoon period again with Joe, because our memories go back to our run that we had to the playoffs a couple years ago. As tape comes out on Joe within this offense, there's going to be more challenges. That's why I'm very bitter and upset, even though I don't sound that way. I'm bitter and upset that we lost, because I got a feeling like my guts are going to be really tingling and upset after Green Bay.
It wasn't that bad. Like, he's going to have some good games, some good moments this season. Nothing really against Flacco. Like, we're going to get through this season, and it's going to be a losing record when we get to the bye week. I guarantee it. I guarantee it's a rough schedule.
But I also think a lot of fans are looking ahead of themselves going, okay, where's the first one? Like, it didn't get any better at night when Baltimore lost against Buffalo. So now it feels like, well, they're going to be coming out loaded for Bear next coming up this Sunday.
And then the home game is Green Bay. The problem with that is Green Bay has extra time to get ready for you. They're going to be rested, because they're playing the Thursday night game. So that's you're going to be major, big time underdog. Could you be double-digit underdogs for that game too?
For the Green Bay game, it's still at home, but it still could be like 8.5, 9.5, depending on what they do on Sunday. Like if they go out there and they play well again on Sunday, win or lose, maybe it'll be 6.5, 7.5, somewhere in there. Then you have Detroit. Like Detroit's probably, but it's only week 1. Like I'm talking about a team that's been really, really good over the last couple of years. And it's only week 1, but I'm going, man, our defense looks pretty good, and their offense looked really bad. I went back and watched that game. Their offense looked really bad, like out of sorts. Like they need Ben Johnson back bad just on Sunday against Green Bay. And then you got the Vikings. All right, they got a rookie, but he had a hot hand at the end of the game. Like now we're just starting to do the math over here. Pittsburgh. All right, their defense is bad, but Aaron Rodgers, he played pretty well on Sunday. Like we only got one game to go off of. Now, I think we'll start to figure things more out this week, but it does feel like, October 19th is when they play the Fish at home? That doesn't look like a football team right now. No. That just looks like a bunch of coworkers wearing the same uniform.
They're the worst team of the weekend, right?
Oh, I think by far.
One thing, Harold Fannin looks solid, and he's a talk of the town fantasy football, the waiver wire right now. Flacco wasn't bad. He's not the problem. The thing is, though, the record is, and it's going to be tough getting a winning record around that bye week time. Also, some tough teams, some tough matchups. Can we get by unscathed? That's the thing, too. Like, no injuries. So, the dog's still in the fight when you're thinking about Shedeur Sanders. You got Dillon Gabrile up next. Also, very limited developmental period right now. They're getting their reps in to start practices. They're getting their throws in. But the main game plan here is getting the game plan together for each game. That's why it was pretty heated when we were talking about training camp and the reps and whether or not they should have had 4 quarterbacks and all this and that. That's water under the bridge right now. It is what it is. We all know the story. We got countless videos. So for Shedeur Sanders to get on the field, what's going to have to happen? Well, we're already kind of in the right direction for that. They're 0-1. They keep losing games. They're going to have to make something happen. They got to figure out what they got in these quarterbacks, like I've been saying. They got to figure it out. They got 2 draft picks in the first round next year, and we got this quarterback class that is a revolving door right now in next year's quarterback class in the draft with the quarterbacks. John Mateer's putting his hat in the ring, which we liked. You should have watched my content in May or April. You would have found that out. He's a solid quarterback, but we'll see who steps up. Some people like Sellers. Arch Manning's not coming out. You're looking at this. Some people like Klubnik. A lot of people don't. Nussmeier, LSU. Just in case I said it wrong. I'm not good at pronouncing names. Someone will correct me for saying Shedeur Sanders or Shedeur. I messed that up. Once I hear a name off the broadcast, that's it. I'm stuck for life. I apologize. But again, you got to see what you got here. And the fact is, splitting up the reps the way you did in camp, you might have got ready for the start of the season. We're 0-1. We're 0-1. You might have wasted 2 draft picks, 3rd and 5th rounder. Not even talking about Shedeur. Like, if you did not push those 2 young quarterbacks to the max, you might have wasted your 3rd, your 5th. Now you're FOMOing for that first round draft pick. If this continues, that's the question. Now, what's up with you guys looking at Shedeur Sanders middle of the game, him talking to the kicker, him being all dressed up and all, the sunglasses? Like, why is there so much hot debate about that?
Oh, there's Shedeur buzz. And I'm like, what? He didn't do anything. He didn't get in the game.
The Browns fan base, as always on this issue, is divided. There are half the people who thought that him going over to Schmitty Kicker and telling him it'll be okay.
Oh, Mike.
Like, because on TV, the one shot of Andre Schmidt on the sideline after the missed field goal.
Oh, and you think Shedeur just happened to know what?
No. I'm not. I'm not telling you what I think. I will tell you what I think.
You think he pre-planned that to get his face on camera?
That's what some Browns fans think. And others think that he was being a great teammate, and that shows you why ultimately he'll be the leader and franchise quarterback of the Browns.
I want everyone to consider the source here. I'm not in the building. I don't know what the deal is. I'm a fan. I'm just looking at this from the outside looking in, and there's got to be something to it. There got to be.
There was one.
Consoling a teammate? That's not good, right?
I give Shedeur a little bit of advice. He looked.
Actually, no. I don't want you giving Shedeur advice.
Riz on the sideline.
Yeah, listen to this, Chris. Now, this pissed me off. Now, this did.
With the backwards hat and the sunglasses and the look of it, I would just remind Shedeur, lock in on the game. Watch the game.
What?
Who said he wasn't?
From the game.
Flacco have a hat on backwards? Doesn't Jalen Hurts do that all the time? He's not. You're knocking a kid for wearing his hat backwards?
I didn't say that.
Man,
I said, Riz, hold on.
Chris,
I said watching
you know what?
him.
Let him go somewhere else. Let him go play for somebody. Let him go win a Super Bowl for somebody else. Honestly.
Well, if you're going to speculate about him not working super hard.
No, I'm not speculating. I'm saying something's going on.
There was
perceived?
a difference between him and Gabriel, the way they were watching the game on the sideline.
It's not me. This is how he is perceived.
Like, why? Like, can't this kid catch a break? Like, honestly, he's just dressing. He's chilling at every game right now until we can definitely say the inevitable happens. Right now, we're on the run for that. Unless they start going on an unexpected run, which could happen. I look for Flacco to be better than what people think. But you got to catch this kid some flack here, man. Let him just chill on the sideline. Stop analyzing every move. Like, I'm answering a question here that was raised by ESPN Cleveland here. Like, is he getting developed? And the guy here that studies training camps and practices, the guy that goes over every clip and the pace of every practice and counts down how many reps a player gets, has an idea, has a good idea of what goes on with these backups. The odds of a quarterback drafted day 3 is against them. All of them. For a reason. Part of it is the reps. Part of it's the opportunity. They could be good enough to develop into a starter. It's the reps, like throwing to equipment guys, the opportunities. You got your starter. Like, training camp's fast. Training camp's fast. Training camp's not as long as what you think it is. And some of these practices don't even make it to an hour and a half. Training camp's fast. And it's got to be very, very strategic with the rep split. That's why 4 quarterbacks was such an issue for this. And the fact that it was a 3rd round, a 5th round pick. The Browns had some good players step up, though. Swissenger's linebacker, killing it. We knew that. We were drafting him in the mock drafts every Sunday. We were doing our 7th rounders early, talking to him up. You've got some players stepping up. Harold Fannin. They actually have a decent draft class. Quinshon Judkins coming back. He has a 1st round profile they got in the 2nd round. Dillon Sampson caught 8 balls, ran 8 routes. He's solid. He ran 15 routes, got 8 targets. That's stand corrected. But you got some players stepping up from this year's class. This could have damaged both quarterbacks. Shedeur Sanders, when he comes out, you got to see how he's going to be. We don't even know what he's going to look like with the first team. We have no idea. Dillon Gabrile, my best guess, like it's been, like he might start off like the first couple series looking okay, and then when he gets off script, it ain't going to look good. And they split the reps pretty much. You're looking at preseason games. One had a bad game, one had a good game, one had a bad game, one had a good game. Shedeur beat him out. Training camp, minicamp, OTAs, and all of it, rookie camp, like reps. When you're looking at the accuracy, completion rate, we're going to see all 3 of these quarterbacks out this year. That's been my prediction. We're going to see. But your question of whether or not he's getting developed, Gabriel's getting developed right now, no, it's minimal. Let's just say the best answer, it's minimal. It's minimal. They're trying to get through every week. Right now, Flacco's been doing all right. They got to start winning games. If this losing streak, I mean, it's just one game, but if this becomes a massive losing streak, we get into the bye, you might be seeing some changes as they got to figure out what they got with these quarterbacks before they start making these draft picks, before they start looking at quarterbacks in next year's draft. Now, you might be saying, hey, why are we looking at quarterbacks for next year? ESPN Cleveland has a tracker. That's all they're talking about. Half their show's about the quarterbacks in next year's class. They had the question of whether or not these young quarterbacks are being developed, which means a lot of you guys have that question of whether or not they're being developed. The answer is they're getting ready for these games. That's about it. Maybe in the meeting rooms, maybe a little bit that. That's why it's minimal. We're going to see all three of them out. My guess, how he would look, it's going to be twofold. Like, you're either going to see him cash out like we did in that Panthers game, or throwing to equipment guys, playing behind those fifth, fourth stringers that got cut, messed up his timing. But if Fannin keeps hitting, Quinshon Judkins comes out rolling, Dylan Sampson keeps looking good, and they're looking good in these losses, but they still got this bad record, and he comes in and gets his opportunity. He has a lot of potential to look good, And he's not just playing for a role here. He's playing for a role with another team. That's the thing. Let me know what you think, though, in the comments below. I want to hear about that. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. Thank you for watching. Catch you on the next video.